Hi guys, welcome back to the prediction show. My name is Elmo,
And I'm Tuna.
and this week we're going to be talking about, as we always do, last week's predictions, how we did, what our predictions was, and who won the predictions for this week. We'll be looking at the awards, what we normally give out, so the best player, the best goal, the best team, and the biggest gaff, and then we'll be doing predictions for next week as well. Just a quick heads up. Obviously, games are ramping up thick and fast over the Christmas period, so the predictions and everything like that are going to be very hit and miss. With work and everything like that, we don't know when we're going to get them out, but we'll get them out as soon as. So it won't be regular like it is at the moment. So just bear with us on that. We are going to still do the videos. It's just as and when we can, and then obviously we've got to edit it and then get it uploaded. So we do apologise for that in advance. So we'll have a look at the predictions for last week. So obviously the first game was meant to be Friday, and it was meant to be Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Sadly, that got postponed because Newcastle's training ground had to be evacuated and locked down due to COVID outbreak, and I don't think Newcastle are back yet. So because they haven't rearranged the game yet, we're scrapping the score what we predicted because by the time they do play, that could be January, February time, and we might think differently depending on how Newcastle's doing or how Villa's doing. So we're going to scrap that prediction completely.
So nil pot each.
Yes.
uh, Next up, we had Burnley versus Everton, which finished 1-1, and I went 2-1 to Everton. So just a goal out, but no points at all.
And I went 1-1, so I got 3 points, which was a fantastic start. The next game was Man City versus Fulham. That was a 2-0 win to Man City. I predicted 3-1, so I got the goal difference right, but not the correct score. So I got 1 point.
And I went 3-0 to Man City, so one goal off yet again, but a point at least. Next up was West Ham Manchester United, which finished 3-1 to Manchester United, and you'll never guess what. I was a goal off. I predicted 2-1 to Manchester United. Second point, second correct outcome, but just not quite good enough.
And you'll never guess what? I predicted 3-1, so I predicted the exact score. So that gave me a good start for 7 points, which kind of ended there, pretty much. The next one was Chelsea versus Leeds. Chelsea won 3-1. I went for a 3-2 win to Leeds here, so I got nil point.
And guess what? I was a goal out. I went 3-2 to Chelsea. So another point, that puts me on 4 at least. After that, we then had West Brom versus Crystal Palace and finished 5-1 to Crystal Palace. And I wasn't a goal out this time. I just had 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Another point, that's now 5, so not bad going.
I was looking at Crystal Palace's form without Zaha. Turns out Zaha was back, so my prediction of 2-1 to West Brom was completely wrong. Next up, we had Sheffield United versus Leicester. Leicester just scraped a win 2-1 in the last couple of minutes. I had 3-0 Leicester, so I got a point because Leicester won.
And I got my first perfect score in 65 games. 2-1 to Leicester. And, well, that put you 8-7 ahead, but I was on some decent form and finally a perfect score! After that, we had Tottenham Arsenal, the North London derby, which finished 2-0 to Tottenham, and I returned to form. I was a goal out. 2-1 Tottenham. Gave me 8 points.
So I was a goal out as well. I went 3-0, so I just needed that one more goal for Tottenham. So I got 1 point, and that put me on 9 points for the weekend, which is the maximum score that any of us have got for a weekend.
Yeah, and with 2 games left as well. Very positive.
So next game was Liverpool versus Wolves. Liverpool won 3-0. I
Whoa,
had a
whoa,
bang to.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, they won
Wait,
4-0, sorry.
thank you.
They won 4. Look, I had computer issues, all right. Um, the next one was Liverpool, who won 4-0. I predicted 2-1. I must have had a bang on the head. I predicted 2-1 to Wolves, so I got nothing there.
I had 2-1 to Liverpool, obviously, so another point, 9 apiece. Again, joint high score so far. Going into the final game, can either of us make a new high score? Brighton versus Southampton. Finished 2-1 to Southampton. I went 1-1, so I cannot.
And I went 2-1, but to the wrong team. So, no, it finished 9-9, which is the first time we've drawn since we're doing this, but that does put me 10 points ahead overall, 67-57.
Yeah, joint highest score, highest combined score between us, and between us the lowest amount of incorrect results as well. So get ready for next week where we both get every game wrong.
Whoa, speak for yourself, just you. I-
Yeah,
I'm
there's no repeats of 2 points here. None.
I'm rocking it with a 9, a 7, a 9. Ignore that 4, 7. We'll go on to the awards now. So our awards of the week, and we'll start with the player. So a player that stood out for me might be a bit biased, but I think it's just because of how much this person's been missing for a very long time, and that was Paul Pogba. It was just fantastic, all over the park. He started, and even when we were playing bad in the first half, if you watch some of the highlights of him, the passes, the movement, and just the eagerness to want to do well for the club, it was back. So we'll see how long that lasts.
So Pogba picking up his first award of the season,
Mm,
probably his last as well. I went for Zaha, obviously 2 goals, and just how much of a different team Crystal Palace are when Zaha plays.
yeah,
He's just I don't think of any team in the Premier League that rely on a player as much as Palace do with Zaha, and there's a lot of teams in the Premier League that rely on one player.
yeah.
But he's just a complete game changer. Onto the goal, and some fantastic goals this week. This is quite possibly the toughest week we've had all season to pick one, but
A
one,
lot of similar goals as well.
yeah, and one probably fits that bill that I've gone for, but I've gone for Son. Tottenham against Arsenal are just sublime.
Yeah, like I say, a lot of similar goals, a lot of shots from outside the area, curling in or anything like that, and some really good shots, powerful shots. But yeah, I had to go with Son as well. Just how far out he was, and just the curl, and just everything about Son. Anytime he scores a goal, they're good goals anyway, but he just makes them look a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, the pass from Kane, then obviously he took it 20, 30 yards,
Mm.
and they say, out of all the similar goals, it's the one from further style and a tighter angle, so just fantastic finish.
Yeah. The team of the week for me, Crystal Palace. Um, they've been missing for a couple of weeks because, like we say, Zaha wasn't playing. But this week they turned it up. Zaha getting two, that other guy getting two.
Yeah, that big Belgian guy, Batshuayi, that's his name. Benteke.
Yeah, they just played really well and they just looked good.
Yeah, and second award in a row, I've agreed with you as well. Palace for pretty much the exact same reasons you just said.
Mm.
And finally, the gaff of the week, and uh, nothing particularly stands out this week apart from one that really does for me, and I've gone for Timo Werner for his goal line miss. It's just atrocious.
Yeah, so
my, my grandma could have scored that.
I've gone for Werner as well, pretty much for the same thing, but also I think just all round since he's gone to Chelsea, I think he should be doing better. You know, you've got Giroud waiting to play all these games, and he's being kept out by somebody that isn't getting the form that Chelsea need right now. So, yeah, I gave it to him as well.
Just such a bad mess.
And on to your favourite part, the predictions for next week.
Yes, I totally didn't do them 2 minutes before we started recording with absolutely no research, because that went so well for me last week.
So I've not actually predict mine yet. I put the like last week and the week before. I put the names in the spreadsheet. So this is the first time I'm seeing who's actually playing each other. There's some interesting games, to be honest with you.
Some big games.
So we start off on Friday on Sky Sports at 8 o'clock. We have Leeds versus West Ham. I I think it's difficult for me to go against Leeds because even though they might not be getting the results all the time, two teams that I mention a lot that play well but don't get the results is Leeds and Brighton. So I struggle to just go against them at the moment, even though Brighton let me down a lot and Leeds do. But 3-1 to Leeds.
Okay. I've gone the same way, but I've gone 2-1 to Leeds. And I think that's perhaps a bit harsh on West Ham, because I think they're quietly doing a lot better than people expect, but similar to you, I just can't seem to go against Leeds at the moment. They captivate me. And I mean, it's only a good thing, obviously, for the Premier League, but yeah, 2-1 to Leeds.
Especially if Bamford turns up as well.
Yep.
So the next game start on Sunday at 12:30 is Wolves versus Aston Villa, the Midlands derby, and that's on BT Sport.
Yeah, perhaps going against sort of form. Obviously, both teams not in the best of form. Villa not having great run. Wolves very inconsistent. But I'm going for a 3-1 Wolves win. I expect it to be pretty straightforward, really. I just think they'll look to bounce back from the Liverpool game. And what better way than a derby?
Yeah. I'm going to go the opposite way, and I'm going to go 2-1 to Villa. Like I say, Wolves have got to bounce back, but Villa's kind of got to bounce back as well. They had a decent run, and then they've kind of not matched up to it since. But some of the performances have been there. You know, they've got the players and that. So
I suppose Villa have had a week's rest as well, technically.
yeah.
So it could play in his hands. We'll see how much rest actually benefits people, especially with such a busy month coming up.
Yeah. So the next game, it's not been said whether this is going ahead or not. Newcastle at the moment aren't back in the training ground, but they're hoping to be back in the training ground tomorrow, which is Tuesday as we're recording this. Newcastle versus West Brom, 3 o'clock on Sky Sports. I'm going to go, if this does get played, and again, just like the Aston Villa Newcastle, if this doesn't get played this weekend, the score line will be changed the next time they do play when we predict it. But I'm going to go for, I think this will be a close one, so I'm going to go 2-2.
Oh. I mean, you definitely have a fair bit of faith in West Brom, especially in recent weeks. I'm going 3-0 to Newcastle.
Okay, you've got no faith in West Brom.
No, West Brom are struggling, and obviously Callum Wilson's back now, and he's back firing. And I'm expecting to get a couple at least.
Yeah,
I mean, one thing that we haven't seen is a hat trick for quite some time. So,
I mean, like you said about Villa, you know, they've had a week off, but Newcastle's had a week off without training, so that could play into benefit West Brom. We just don't know. It might not even get played.
no, that's true.
The big game of the weekend, which usually ends with a 0-0 or just a boring 1-0. R5 on Sky Sports, Man United vs Man City, Manchester derby, the second derby of this weekend.
Yeah, and I personally think so far this season, Manchester United are the better team out of the two, but I'm going 2-1 to Manchester City. Just because of Man United's home form, it seems to be like a curse at the moment. So
Can I
yeah,
do
and
two predictions? One for first half, one for second.
I also think the fact, obviously, the Champions League game this week, City are already through, so they've got the opportunity to rotate, whereas Manchester United really don't. I think that could be a big difference.
We also
So
play a day earlier than them in Champions League, so
yeah,
this is a tough one because it's very tough in games like this to predict with my head and not my heart. I hope I don't jinx myself, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Manchester United.
I mean, some hope for you is that generally when I predict City, it goes the opposite way. So
This is going to be the only correct result that you get.
yeah, now it will.
8 o'clock on Saturday, we have Everton versus Chelsea on BT Sport. Another tough game, to be honest with you. Everton's form isn't great. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 3-1 to Chelsea.
Guess what? We have the exact same prediction.
Oh damn! I'm gonna get that
I'm
wrong.
also going 3-1 to Chelsea. I had 3-1 to Chelsea, then changed it 4-0 Chelsea, and then went back to 3-1 to Chelsea. And just because, screw Everton.
I mean, it's
They
going to be
deserve
one,
to win.
isn't it? Because Calvert-Lewin's going to score.
Obviously, people don't know this, but I sort of threw my toys out of the pram when Everton couldn't score a win against Burnley last week, and I vowed not to predict Everton to win again this season. So that is what's happening.
Fair enough. So we've got 5 games on Sunday this week. Starting at 12 o'clock on Sky Sports, Southampton versus Sheffield United.
Yeah, I did consider a shock result in this one. But then I remember Danny Ings is back, so 2-0 Southampton.
I think it's very difficult to predict Sheffield United getting any points at the moment. Tell you what, I'll give
So
them a
you've got
goal.
2-0 Sheffield United.
We'll give them a goal. 3-1 to Southampton.
I like how I just went from, a shock result to Sheffield United not scoring at all. Just because Danny Ings is back.
Yeah. So that's going to stop Sheffield United scoring, obviously.
Yeah.
2:15 on Sky Sports, we have Crystal Palace versus Spurs. It's difficult to go against Tottenham, isn't it? And even with Zaha back, I'm going to go for a weird score. I'm going to go 4-2 to Tottenham.
Okay. You say it's difficult to go against Tottenham, and I have gone Crystal Palace 2, Tottenham 1.
Really?
More out of hope than anything. But I don't know. I just think Tottenham are going to slip up at some point, and if Palace play like they did last weekend, then it could very easily be Palace. Obviously, they're a team that can beat anyone.
Yeah.
So I don't. There's just some weird feeling about it. So I'm going with Palace win.
I mean, Spurs have got to Spurs it up at some point, so it makes sense that it could be some against a team like Crystal Palace. 4:30 on Sky Sports is Fulham versus Liverpool.
Yeah, Fulham have been decent past couple of weeks. Obviously, they got their win a couple of weeks ago against Leicester. And I mean, I know they lost last weekend against Man City, but 2-0 could be considered a good scoreline.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, I'm going against them by the same score as I did last week, and I'm going 3-0 to Liverpool. I, I think partly, as you said, with Man United, more going with my heart than head, but Liverpool have looked pretty impressive as well in the past couple of weeks.
So I'm going to go. I'm going to go for same Fulham scores last week, and just like City, they're going to lose 2-0 to Liverpool. So there's two games on at the same time on Sunday. So the first one on Sky Sports at 7:15 is Arsenal versus Burnley.
Yeah, I'm not watching Arsenal.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give a team that needs a win. A win.
It's both teams.
Exactly. That's what I said. You know what? Let's let's give Burnley 2 goals. 2-0 to Burnley.
Ooh,
Cause
okay.
fuck you Arsenal, yeah.
On that same logic, I have 2-1 to Burnley. I said in the review videos, if you haven't seen them, go and watch them. That I just can't see where Arsenal's next result is coming from. And it's true, Burnley have been slowly improving, and Arsenal have been getting worse. So, fuck Arsenal.
I mean, I know a few Arsenal fans, and to be honest with you, they've pissed me off since the start of the season. So, yeah. Sorry, but not sorry, Arsenal fans. At the same time, but on Amazon Prime Video, is Leicester versus Brighton.
Yeah, and do you know, I also toyed with having this shock result in this one,
Well, Leicester to
and then
win.
decided. Well, I actually have gone with Leicester to win. I've gone 2-1 to Leicester. And again, both teams not in the best of form. But I just think Leicester are the better team. And as we saw last week, they grinded out a result against Sheffield United. I think it'll be similar. I really do think it'll be a late winner or a penalty that'll decide it. But it seems to be Brighton's story this season. They just seem to be unlucky every game.
So, speaking of unlucky, and I've just gone back to verify this over the last couple of weeks, and it's very rare that I do well on the last two games of the weekend. The first weekend I got the correct score, so I don't think it really matters what I'll put here. So let's just go 2-1 to Brighton because I don't usually get it right anyway.
It's good enough logic.
So yeah, so that's the next lot of games. What actually happens the weekend after? Sorry, the week after is there's midweek games. So the plan is that because all the games are coming thick and fast, and obviously we've got to take time out to record and edit and get it uploaded. Next weekend's predictions will include next week, midweek, and the weekend after. So it's going to be kind of like a bumper one. And then potentially the same over Christmas with Boxing Day and the week leading up to New Year being just full of multiple games every single day. So I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Please comment on the video as well. We will interact to all comments
Yeah.
and questions.
Let me know if you think I'm going to close that 10-point gap. Do you think Elmo's going to extend it? Do you think we're both just complete idiots?
Oh,
All valid points.
guaranteed that we're both. I mean, I might comment and say that we're both idiots.
Yeah, to be fair, that might not be a bad idea.
But thanks, guys. Go check out our socials and all our links in the description below. If you like these, please tell us what you do like about them. Please tell us what you don't like. And, we are doing this for the first time. We are looking to change things and just make it work. I think these individual videos, what we're doing, is definitely working a lot better. So we're going to try and continue doing this. But all feedback and harsh criticism is always taken. I've got some ice cream in the fridge, and I can go and cry and under my bed sheet and eat ice cream and just know that the world hates me and my work.
I do that daily anyway, so
Take care, guys.
see you later.